Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something really special. We're taking the deeply personal, incredibly uplifting life philosophies of educator and mother, Dr. Surbi Saroha, and distilling the whole shebang into a cohesive guide for living. If you've been looking for a grounded, optimistic way to reframe your daily life and maybe even rewire your brain a bit, well, you are in exactly the right place. So let's just dive right in.
We're kicking things off with a pretty bold question straight from her blog. Can motivational quotes actually rule the world? I mean, it sounds like a massive claim, right? But Dr. Saroha genuinely believes that simple, inspirational words hold exactly that much power. She argues they're the absolute best way to inspire us using the fewest words possible. In fact, she states that they can literally remove the negative parts of our brain and flip them into positive ones. It's like a mental reset button. So, if words have that kind of power, how do we actually use them to build a better life day by day? That brings us to Pillar 1, Inner Mindset, focusing on the absolute basics of positivity and luck.
She breaks it all down to the simplest human action. A smile is equal to thousands of good words. Look, Dr. Saroha points out that honestly, we are usually the actual creators of our own problems. We get in our own way, we overcomplicate things, and we build these mental walls. But she offers this amazing, free-of-cost medicine, which is just smiling. She explains that every single problem has a solution, and the very best way to kickstart finding it, just smile at the problem first. It breaks the tension and instantly makes the whole hurdle way easier to approach and solve.
And this brilliantly ties into her next big point, believe in your own luck. Because how often do you hear people complain that their luck just isn't working? Well, Dr. Saroha completely rejects that premise. No way. She insists that our luck is actually right there with us at every single moment, in every single situation. It's not about waiting for some miraculous, random stroke of luck to hit you out of nowhere. It's about shifting your mindset to actually recognize the luck that's already riding along with you, hiding in plain sight. Let's keep moving outward. Pillar 2, growth, focus, and education. Turning life's hurdles into brain-activating opportunities. So that number 3? It represents the 3 dynamic years Dr. Saroha spent working at Shobit University in Meerut. Drawing from her direct experience as an educator, she really hammers home a crucial lesson about time. You know the old saying, time and tide wait for none? If we waste our time, it's gone. It literally never comes back, and it affects our future badly. But if we utilize our time fruitfully, like she saw during those university years, it pays us incredibly well and sets the foundation for literally everything that follows. But the trick is how we focus that time, especially during stressful moments like exams or continuing education. As an educator, she knows exam fear is a very real, very intimidating hurdle. Her solution? With quotes, you read less but study more and learn more. She's a huge advocate for using instant motivational quotes to quickly build up confidence and hit that state of hyperfocus. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, a good quote gives you this immediate burst of knowledge and motivation with minimal words. It just snaps your attention right back to where it needs to be. And this ties right into her broader view on facing difficulties. When an inevitable life hurdle pops up, she doesn't see it as a setback. Actually, scratch that. She sees it as a pure opportunity. According to her writings, whenever a difficulty arises, it literally forces our brains to start working more efficiently than ever before. We wake up from our routine, we start thinking critically, and boom, the more we think, the more we find unique solutions. The hurdle is basically just the activation switch for your brain's hidden problem-solving power. So where should you direct all this newfound brain power? Well, ultimately, the sky is the limit, but she lays out a specific path. First, you've got to have the courage to understand yourself and figure out what you actually like to do. Second, work hard to become perfect at it. And third, and this is the most important part, use that unique talent to help the public. It is a beautiful, complete cycle of personal growth that leads directly to public good. Which brings us to Pillar 3, love, family, and motherhood, the vital importance of human connection. Here we see a totally uncompromising comparison. On one side, there's this endless, mad dash for money. In today's busy world, people run themselves ragged chasing it, sometimes totally forgetting what's right and wrong. But she points out that money only ever fulfills our desires. On the flip side, we have unconditional love. Your life, she argues, can only truly be filled and fulfilled by the love of your family. Love is the essential, grounding fuel we actually need on a regular basis to stay genuinely happy. And speaking of family, she tackles the very foundation of it with a classic quote, "Marriages are made in heaven."
Now, she totally gets that this might be hard to believe nowadays. We open the newspaper or turn on the TV and see endless cynical news about mismatched couples. But she defends this old adage fiercely. She insists the world is what you make of it. A heavenly marriage is absolutely a wonderful thing to experience, but provided both the husband and the wife play their active roles to be an understanding and loving spouse, it takes real active effort, not just passive hope. But while marriage is a partnership, the ultimate expression of unconditional love in her writings, that is absolutely motherhood. She describes it as an out-of-this-world blessing, this magical moment where a woman gets to live her childhood days all over again, through fresh eyes. For her, the feeling is just beyond words. It's the absolute highest level of pure, unadulterated happiness a woman can possibly experience. And honestly, this shows just how deeply personal this whole philosophy is for her. She actually dedicated her entire blog to her daughter, Advika, who she affectionately calls Pehu or Aju. She explicitly states she's writing these posts for one main reason, so that when her child grows older and matures, she can read them and fully grasp the profound depth of her mother's love. Seeing her kids smile makes her smile. Her daughter is her lifeline, the literal living embodiment of every single thing she writes about. Moving to our final section, Pillar 4, experiencing the magic of life, appreciating the natural world and the gift of existence. Trees, plants, flowers, the sky, the clouds, the mountains. Quick question for you. When was the last time you actually paused and just looked at a cloud? Dr. Siroha reminds us that life is God's most precious and valuable gift, and it is packed with this everyday magic. But tragically, we kind of just ignore it. We completely walk right past these miracles that we literally need to survive, all because we're so hyper-focused on our own minor daily ups and downs. She's urging us to take a step back and observe our lives closely so we can finally realize how profoundly beautiful our surroundings actually are. And we have to appreciate it right now, because, as she puts it, no 2 days of your life can be same. Life is changing every single second. Since every single day brings entirely new experiences, we have to actively adopt a positive approach to appreciate this fleeting, beautiful thing called life. We just can't afford to take a single second of it for granted. Which brings us to a final concept, starting with a proverb I know we've all heard a million times. Excess of everything is bad. It's pretty much the standard rule of thumb for life, right? Keep things moderate. Don't overdo it, no matter what it is. But here is her final, wonderful twist of optimism. Dr. Siroha completely challenges that old rule. She asks, can an excess of good ever be bad? And her answer is a definitive no. If you keep doing good all the time, she writes, your life naturally starts to move toward a fairy tale kind of world. Why? Because the good you put out there, whether it's love, patience, or help, it naturally multiplies and comes right back to you. It leaves us with a really powerful, provocative thought to carry forward. Instead of holding back out of caution, what if we all intentionally tried to create an absolute excess of good in our lives today? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.